Hello and welcome back to my playthrough of the Age of the Ring campaign. Mission, let me think now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Howls of the Redhorn, which is a chapter in the book. It follows our fellowship's path, going south and how that has to change en route due to other forces at work. We'll recognise that scene from the film, and that's the thing that makes them have to reroute. And we do illustrate that in the campaign. This mission in particular has a few cinematics. I think, though, they're okay. They're not too excessive. I think they're all right.
We must hold this course west of the Misty Mountains for 40 days. If our luck holds, the Gap of Roan will.
Oh my God, that's a lot of cloud.
From there, our road turns east.
The cloud was something I added because I wanted to illustrate how high up we were. We were up in the mountains. We were moving along. Sometimes it's hard to see through it, but I kind of like it. It does fade eventually over time as well. Now, an important thing you can miss at this early stage is a bonus objective, which isn't revealed really until you come across it. It's a treasure, if you will. I've got to look away from these clouds because I can't see Legolas. I may have to tone back the clouds in a patch. Where is it? There we are. This is easily missed. You don't need to get it, I don't think. Excellent. Rank 2 Legolas. But it does help if you are struggling to find the rest of them to get that early one. Oh my God. These have really gone over the top, never mind. So from here it's not complicated at all, we're just moving along following the path south. New textures for this scene, we wanted to try and copy the look from the film. And, I don't think we did too badly, I think it's pretty similar. This is our first cinematic we come to. It is. I love this Boromir just wailing on the hobbits. A very tricky cinematic in some ways. The camera system in Battle for Middle-earth is terrible. It really is genuinely appalling. It's like bending a piece of wire. You go, rather than say stop the camera here, start the camera here, you have to loop the wire around itself. So the camera can't ever stop in one place, it constantly has to move. And none of it lines up very easily. So to do this kind of thing, it would probably be a day's work. To line everything up, to get the camera moving properly and in time. So that's why it's good and bad. It's an issue for the team, because there's times where they want to change the cinematics, and often I'm restricted by the fact that I can spend another day changing the entire camera system to edit out 3 lines. We'll definitely change it for the next missions. Cinematics will be fewer and more planned, so we won't have to compromise. Or I won't have to be so demanding. I like that. They all got in the bushes and it all worked quite well, surprisingly. I didn't know how that would look till you had it in game. Ashford South is being watched. We're doomed then. That's it then. Jesus Christ. I am sorry about the clouds. I didn't realise. I think they must have changed since I last played this. Good Lord, Harry, what the hell have you done? Right, I'm just going to zoom in. It's appalling. I'll have to look at that. Certainly, if you like clouds, it's the level for you. So, our missions have changed. We're no longer going south, we're going to the path of Caradhras, and we have our first bonus objective. Pardon me, that's Discord going boop boop. As we move down here, we enter a very big, almost like a basin, with the ruins of Ost-in-edhil. I don't know how you pronounce that, there as well. They're up here on this plinth. I'm not going to go in there yet, because it's quite a hard fight. And I want to get a treasure first, which is up here to the east. This was a really tricky map to get working on. As Matthias can tell you, it was quite boring for a very long time. Originally, you didn't start where I showed you earlier. That whole area wasn't there. Originally, you started here, down in this corner. It was completely differently laid out. Texturing was all different. You just walked onto the map. Ost-in-edhil was there, and that was it. And, oh no, I'm going up the wrong path. But in about January, I decided it was too boring, and I took about adding all this stuff down here, and it made a big difference to the level. We got to add this scene with the crabine, and it made it more interesting. And then we spent more time working on how Ost-in-edhil looked, and I think the look we got in the end was a good compromise. Some people prefer the more accurate kind of, because the thing is an elf city, and yet we don't see much elf kind of influences there. But in the film, we see a pretty standard-looking ruin. There's not much there. So,
what lies here?
the compromise is different. One thing people will have noticed is they've said that when the heroes pick up treasure, it's not necessarily the hero that picks it up that says anything. Not all the heroes have any lines to say. Oh, hang on. Another bonus objective, Creebane, Crabine, however you pronounce it.
It is nothing.
There's
Only bugs.
several flocks of these throughout the level, and we have to kill them. They don't really do anything to you, they're just an annoying thing that'll follow you around. So it's worth killing them, and, you know, some of us are completionists, and we don't like having open bonus objectives, so it's worth doing. What the hell was I talking about before? I genuinely lost the track of it. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, adding all this stuff in back here made the level a lot more interesting, and we spent a long time working on this fight, because it used to just be, I think it was goblins as placeholders for a long time, but making it this elven city and revamping the look of it really made a difference. I'm going to leave my hobbits outside because I know you actually get trapped in this scene. These towers will collapse on either side and you will be left to fend for yourself. And it is much easier if you are aware to just leave the hobbits outside. You don't need to bring them with you. Don't stand under the towers though, because you will get crushed and the level will end. And our excellent cameo, that was pretty well hidden, I believe. Celebrimbor, famed of the Shadow War games. Added in almost as a joke, but then we did it, and it was I think it fits really well. Matthias made the model, and also made all these ghosty looking elves for us to fight. It really changes this whole beginning section to something that's just a lot more entertaining to play. It is a hard fight. That used to be 3 waves, which was just almost impossible. I toned it back to 2 on the advice of the testers and the team, and it was definitely the right move. It plays quicker and it's not as hard. But you can imagine if you have these guys in here, they just get utterly destroyed. You can put their cloaks on and whatever, but I'd rather just leave them out of harm's way. So our big baddie, Celebrimbor, is sat up here waiting. And he does have a lot of audio cues. Basically you have to kill off enough of his minions until you basically tempt him down and you can fight him off. He is hard to kill, and Legolas is certainly not the one that should be at the front killing him, because he's not the most health. How are you doing, Aragon? And the audio cues I managed to extract from the Shadow War games and added them in. He's very over the top, but it is nice to have, you know, some audio for him rather than just have him be a voiceless ghost. Right, let's do some stuff to make our lives a little easier here. You autocast that. You autocast that. You autocast that.
Is this all you could muster?
Chop these buggers. Gimli's a good one, and Boromir because they have a lot of health, so if you can get them to take a lot of the damage, it's not too bad. Gandalf and Legolas, I think, some of the lowest health, 2008. Oh no, Gandalf's got more than Aragon. Anyway, oh hello. Let's pull back. Sometimes they can get drawn out there. It's useful to keep them all close together. So, oh my god, Gimli's getting surrounded.
I will know victory.
Here he comes. That audio cue just lets us know that he's on his way. One difficult thing actually about making this whole scene was I had to create the effects that you see when they spawn in. Those are objects that will spawn with each object, with each unit that comes.
Is this all you could muster?
Right, we've got to kill him as quickly as possible because if he doesn't die, the enemies will continue spawning endlessly. A ghost scared of a horn? Oh my god, Aragon, get out of there. Aragon, get out of there, Aragon. Aragon. Boromir, you get out of there. Is he dead? I think he is dead, he's just standing there. Oh, bye-bye. Gandalf, are you alright? Jesus, this fight is hard. It may be too hard. Here we are, and the towers have now disappeared, and the hobbits can come enter. Gimli threw an axe at them.
This place was once great. It is sad to see it destroyed by evil.
Whew. You can imagine having a hobbit in that is pretty bloody deadly. But truth is, you don't have to do it. You can skirt around the entire thing. You don't have to enter this place. You can go around the edge and just leave if you don't want to do it. You know, I like the idea of being able to choose. You know, it's just for those people who aren't interested in that sort of thing. Those who don't like fighting ghosty elves. Is our music still not working? Oh no, it is working. That's good. It's very quiet though. I may crank it up a bit. I like the music, and we certainly spend a lot of time making sure it is. There we go. So at this point, if you do leave some heroes outside of Ost-in-edhil, you can't enter here until they're free again. You know, it would mess up the scripting if half the heroes went up there and half were back there. You know, I'm sure there's still ways of breaking it. You know. It's very difficult to anticipate everything a person will do when playing these levels, but I do my best. One thing you might not notice, it's pretty subtle, is the light change actually. As we move up into the mountains here, we go from a brighter area down here, and the map slowly gets darker, just because the snow looks a lot better in that kind of environment. And that's baked onto the map, that lighting. It's not done through scripting or anything like that. Here we are. These clouds do disappear eventually. At some point I may try to make them permanent. These props are all made by Matt, the Lego Man, and we wouldn't have a Caradhras anything like this without him. It's his work, and I appreciate it very much. Basically the point of this is we just got to get across here. We can avoid them, these avalanches, by sheer luck and by going in these caves. There's 3 or so of them along the way, and by going in there you can avoid the effects of frostbite, which you can dodge the avalanche and even heal up. Because while you're here you'll constantly take damage just from the extreme environment, so it's useful to get in there. These avalanches, they used to be a lot more deadly. If they hit Hobbit, they were doomed. Why the hell are you two dicks back here? Get in there. I'm not sure why they go slower here. I don't think I did that. Maybe I did do that. These trolls are just a little annoyance thing. I guess these caves are like to be occupied by somebody, so I thought I'd put a little troll in there. And I think they're a bonus objective to kill all snow trolls. Yeah. Which we'll do, because there's 3 caves, and I'll make sure to go in every one. The snow effect, again, it's like the rain effect on Bree. It sort of uses the same way. But it's great because I'm able to say, you know, snow out there, don't snow in here. I can control that, whereas before I wouldn't have been able to do that. You know, so many things that would not have been possible in this campaign if I was doing this on my own. You know, it would be nothing compared to this. We've got some nice dialogue. Oh no, Gandalf ate that one. Hear a bit of wizard dialogue there.
Until the path is secure, we shall wait.
Oh my god, this troll just came right out. God almighty. There's a lot of Two Towers dialogue at the moment you can hear, which works really well. Get them. Brother and Sam, are you in here yet? Thank God. Pathfinding Nightmare, as I'm sure you can imagine. Making a space this narrow and asking units to follow it was hell on earth. It works now, but there were many iterations where it was just terrible. You couldn't do it, you know. This black space as well isn't actual there. It's not in the terrain. We just paint the terrain invisible and we just drop these objects as deep as we can. Because by having that physical drop in the map based on the terrain, it takes up so much more of the game's memory than just painting it invisible. Plus, we'd have to raise the map an unbelievable height to have that kind of drop. So it's ways we can try and reduce the map size and try and reduce the number of bugs and issues people will have. I think this area looks amazing, and I think it's certainly down to the objects the guys made. They sell the whole thing. Pippin, why the hell are you standing there? Get over here! To lay out this level was a git. Now, I guess I'll talk about that in a minute when we go to the next area. But to try and fit in all these different areas into one map is a design nightmare. This is our final troll. Let's get rid of him. What the hell's happening out here? Get in, Pippin, for Christ's sake. Merritt, are you alright? There we are, they're dead. And our treasure, one thing I should know about treasure, yeah, it'll only upgrade you to level 3, so if you send a level 3 hero in there to pick that up, if I send Gandalf, he won't go any higher than level 3. That's because if we have these, basically it's a scripting thing. Mary, what the hell are you doing? Relax, dude. Effectively, if you have a level 3 hero, don't bother. If you have a level 2 one, send them in there because they can get it. I don't know why Pippin's level 4.
What might this be?
I won't question it. Oh yes, why the heroes have different voices when they collect treasure. Basically, it takes a load of effort to make it each character's voice, and they don't all have voices, so I didn't bother. And you can just live with that. We must get off the mountain. Will you stop that, Gimli?
Pass over the mountain. Let us go under it. Let us go through the mines of Moria. Let the ring bearer decide.
We will go through the mines.
So be it.
Animation pops back. I should probably extend the camera. I like this scene. We get to go back to Orthanc and see it that one extra time. That means that transition it has something in between it, you know, sense of time passing and what have you. It looks nice. That damn Palantir. We're back with our fellowship, and we're in the dark.
We must prevail, or everything will be lost.
So, I'll walk along here and I'll explain. So, to try and get Caradhras on a map, and this kind of thing on a map, is a nightmare. Basically, Caradhras is buried up here, behind all these really tall rocks. Once we've done Caradhras, I spawn these big rocks in here, so you can't see past there, effectively. But just north of here, we've got snow and avalanches and everything still going on. Oh, here's another flock of the damn birds. Legolas, shoot the bloody things. Oh. He must have already killed them. Fair enough. So yeah, it was we had to be very careful how I laid out the map so I could actually do these sort of transitions between areas. Uh-oh, wolvesies. And, this ties in with the books. Anybody's read the books know there's a lot of wolf fighting as we head towards Moria. Ooh, here they are. Jesus Christ, they run down that hill. Bloody terrifying. They're dead. These wolves are a bit of a menace. While you're up here, they're not meant to spawn in. But once you move past this zone and you go further on, you'll basically get a constant, wave of wolves coming out of these caves and following you. Get that, Sam. You collect it. And that's just you don't just stop. You have a constant reason to keep moving forward. These caves. If you didn't, there wouldn't be much to fight really between here and Moria. The wolves gave us something we could actually, threaten the player with. This, I guess, it would have been a bridge. We did used to have a bridge here, but it was we couldn't work out how to fix it, so I just instead made it a broken bridge, and that I think works just as well. Ooh, hello, wolves. I like this, adding the wolves back in. It's a scary chapter in the book, actually. It all kicks off. It's a lot of build-up to the wolves actually attacking. So it's nice being able to put that in. Uh-oh, these are those wolves I was telling you about, the ones that come from behind. Why are they already injured? Oh, I guess Legolas has been shooting at them. But yeah, there's no point waiting around for them to stop because they never will. It's best just to keep moving forward. Oh, there is a treasure down here I should get though. I'm so pleased we managed to work out the whole night dark thing. Because it's allowed us to do so much more that we couldn't have done otherwise. Ooh. Don't let the hobbits fight the wolves. I believe, to make life easier, I've given these wolves a set of priorities. You can do this through World Builder. You can list every object that belongs to the player if you want, and you can give them a number, whatever you decide. Normally it's 0 to 100. You pick a number there, and the higher the number, the more important that object is in scripting and why you should attack it. So these wolves are told probably Gandalf is 100, and the hobbits are somewhere like 70. So if there's a Gandalf nearby, they'll prioritize him over the hobbits. Doesn't mean they won't attack them, but they won't be high on the list. That's really useful sometimes, because you can something like Moria. The idea is we want Frodo to be the thing they're after, so we can give Frodo a higher priority, and they'll attack him, preferably over the other hobbits per se. nobody may notice that. I guess you don't need to, but that kind of control is incredibly helpful.
Dispatch them with your bow.
Oh, that means there's some crab eyes. It's called creebane.
Quite useful.
There we go. That is 2 bonus objectives in 1. There we go, all done. That's all that's up here on that plinth, so we can leave this area. Get lost, you bloody wolves. These scripts aren't too complicated. The only reason complicated bit was if you walk back up to the cave, of course, I don't want wolves spawning there while you're stood there. So there's a set of controlling scripts that will monitor whether you're there and turn them on and off accordingly. So once you leave, it'll turn them back on, and once you're back, it'll stop. So you can pause the wolves spawning if you want, if you no longer wish to fight them. But they're not too much of a threat. They're more of an annoyance than anything. Gives you something to do while you're moving along. Just for geography's sake, to the east of here, if I was to scroll the map over here, we'd have Ost-in-edhil. Ooh, I can see a bit of terrain there from something. So that's just to give you an idea of how the map is laid out, in World Builder at least. They
don't scare me.
They should scare you, Pippin. You're a tiny hobbit and they're a bunch of giant dogs. Dead. One annoying thing happened in Battlefield 2, it didn't happen in Battlefield 1, there's a script which is called Hunt. It's very simple. If you give it to a team or an object, they're told to just find somebody and fight them. Move around in whatever fashion they want, find somebody and attack them, as long as they're an enemy. That script doesn't work in Battlefield 2 half the time. So you have to actually use attack move scripts, like when you click A on an object and do that. Let me just get my hobbits in their cloaks, because we have a big wolf fight now, and often the hobbits get demolished. And that's caused me numerous headaches, missions like this, where we've got objects running in from potentially far away and having to attack you, because they wouldn't do it. They didn't know how to hunt, they didn't know they were meant to. So a lot of dialogue in this scene. I like to do that, especially with the Fellowship, try and fill it with audio cues, because it just makes the whole battle feel a little more alive. Gives that difference between skirmish and campaign. Jesus Christ, what the hell is around Boromir? Oh, the hobbits become decloaked. Let's get these guys further back. Put your cloak on, you two. They don't care. Though I think, to be fair, we've done quite well. They're mostly dead. Can be tricky, this fight. Catches you off guard, certainly. But it's not too bad. There we are.
Nicely done.
Nicely done.
I wouldn't mind doing that again. We must keep moving.
It's good we got technically every Fellowship actor in this game. We've got Boromir doing his lines from Oblivion, which sound very much like Boromir. Legolas and Vigo from Two Towers. Gandalf and Gimli as well from Return of the King and every game. They were very good at voicing people. We have a bit of dialogue here between Frodo and Gandalf that we see from the film. Just something interesting to listen to while you're walking along. Because I didn't want to put any more fighting in this bit, But you do have to walk, so I thought, try and make it a bit more interesting. Mix it up, as it were. Will you stop doing that? It's so annoying.
What do you mean?
Yeah, there used to be a Gollum cameo here, and I always bring this up just to annoy Matthias. He would stand on this cliff and he'd run off, but according to the books, Gollum's not here at this point, so it was against the lore, and I backed down eventually after enough pressure. Here we have it, the Walls of Moria. If you are struggling to find the door, which you might, because we've changed the model, and you can't see the light until it's meant to be triggered, it's between the 2 trees. So look for the trees and you'll find the door. Gimli's doing his
We have had no word from Moria in many years.
I love putting the audio in. I do go overboard maybe sometimes with it. Can be tricky, the next part. It's not too bad. As long as you get the hobbits away from, the Watcher, it's not too bad. You're just going to make sure they're not stood right in the middle of the damn thing, so you'll kill them in not too many hits, that's for sure. I wonder why they went different directions. They've been having arguments, maybe. Why are you level 4, Pippin? Why are you breaking, you know? Look at all this. It tells you how many battles they've been in. That's very cool.
Yes, Gimli, their own masters cannot find them if their secrets are forgotten.
I love the cinematic.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
It worked out. You know, some people may find it excessive. I'm really fond of it. Especially with the new door Matthias made us. Oh, look at that. We couldn't find a way of fading it in, but I don't think it really matters. The pop is just as good.
Lord of Moria, speak, friend, and enter.
What do you suppose that means? Merry really goes overboard on the accent at that point in the film. The camera in this bloody part was a nightmare. You know, because it wants to constantly move, and you can see it never stops. You can't let it; it won't stop. So you have to basically do an excessive amount of moving, just really slowly, to try and make it not too.
What are you going to do then?
Not too
Knock
jarring.
your head against these doors, Peregrine Took, and if that does not shatter them, and I am allowed a little piece from
There's a
Tully's
domestic.
crest, I will try to find it.
It's all kicking off. Then we cut to a new camera animation here. Will the hobbits run in, or will they use their rocks? They run in. It's either one. Depends whether you've got them on rocks before or after the cinematic. I did try to script that to control it, but
Speak
you
friend
can't really.
and enter.
What's the
The
Elvish
fact
word
these
for
open up, by
friend?
the way, is so pleasing.
Well,
Look at that. It's just brilliant. So brilliant. So, you know, so we don't need to do that, but
Did you
it's
hear that?
Brilliant. Uh-oh. Boom. Right, Pippin, get back. See what I mean? If you let Pippin walk up there, he will try and take it on himself. Right. Where are my heroes? You guys attack. Bows, I'm very effective on him, and that's on purpose because I don't want people to just stand back there and shoot him. You know, I want them to get in there, actually fight the bugger. Just take risks. Try and attack him. Where's Lane? Aragon, why aren't you in there? Whoa! Aragon, Gandalf was not happy. Gimli, jump on him. You don't have to fully kill him, you just have to wound him. Because we don't actually kill the Watcher in the same way they don't kill him in the film. Oh! Gandalf, you alright? Gandalf really suffers. Let's heal him up. Oh! I'm glad the music's back in. It was very just. I thought, Gandalf, get me the hell out of here. Clearly it's never mind. Problem solved. See, not too hard to fight. Can be a bit tricky. Into the mines! I like this. Goes very quiet. Doors close. After a long rumble, then we have silence, pretty much. Which I'm pleased about. It's a nice way to end that level and set up the next one, which is the incredibly long dark of Moria. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a bit more about the campaign, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be long because this level goes on forever. Yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.